Hello and welcome to Webhack Wednesdays. My name is Martin Beamy.
And I'm Martin Kern.
And today we are going to be discussing Office applications, which is a bit of a surprise considering this is a web hack show. But why are we talking about Office, Martin?
I'm quite a fan of Office. I quite like it.
All right, so
Yeah.
but really?
No, there's a bit more to it than that. So the way you build an Office application is basically it's a web application.
Right.
So they're web applications that are framed inside Office.
Like an iframe.
Just like an iframe. Conceptually exactly the same as an iframe.
Okay.
And so we thought, as our audience is web developers, we thought maybe this is something they might be interested in because they might be interested in writing Office apps. There's a lot of people that use Office. It's quite a popular thing. It's been around a while. So yeah, we thought we'd give a quick intro to Office add-ins.
So you want to show us what they are?
Yeah, sure. So if you've got Office installed, and it's important to note that this is any version of Office. This isn't just something for Office or Windows. Office is on iOS and Android and lots of other platforms now. So the goal is that whenever Office is there, the add-in model should work as well.
Right.
We're not quite there yet. At the moment, it's just on the Windows desktop apps, the iOS apps, and the web apps. But the goal is very shortly for it to be on Android and the Windows mobile and others. But anyway, so there's an Office store. If you go to the Insert menu, you can go to Store, and you can browse the Office store and look at all of the apps that are available or add-ins that are available in the store. You can do a search. And so it works in the same way as you'd expect any store to work, really.
Yep.
You have different categories and so on and so on. So if I want to look at the Wikipedia add-in, for example, I can just go to here. I can say trust it. So I'm going to trust that this can read and make changes to my document and send data over the internet. So it's standard kind of OAuth type trust. And that just installs the add-in. So I say install, it doesn't really install it. It merely puts, this is an iframe, as you say, out to the internet. So nothing gets actually installed on the machine, really.
So somewhere in the ether, this Wikipedia application's being hosted on a web server somewhere?
Yes, exactly right. Yeah. So this is being served by some. It doesn't matter what web server, what language it's written in. It can be anything as long as it's a web application. That's all that matters, really. Okay. And so this one's pretty cool. If I put some text inside Office, this is my favourite little hack, which we've shown before, but I'm going to show it again because I think it's really cool. Because it's the word "rand," and you click enter, and it does random text, which is quite fantastic.
Quite fantastic.
Indeed, it is. Now, one of the things that makes Office apps cool is it's okay to be able to search Wikipedia right there.
Yeah.
But what I can do is I can have this interaction between the document and the app itself.
Okay.
So, for example, if I select the word video, straight away Wikipedia is going to go and search for the word video on Wikipedia.
And in that example, it was on selection that happened.
Yes.
You didn't press anything inside of the Wikipedia add-in.
No.
It just, on selection changed, it did.
It did. And just to demonstrate that point, I'm going to select a different word, and it's going to go and search for the word professional because
that is a very professional picture.
It is. Yeah, we'll go back to video, I think. I don't think I want to linger on that picture too long. So what's cool about this is, so I can obviously explore Wikipedia here, which is useful in the context of being inside Office. What's really cool here is, if you see something you want to put in your document, you just insert. It inserts the picture in the document, but also keeps the link and the reference back to Wikipedia as well.
Right.
So we've got a real kind of two-way interaction between the Office document and the Wikipedia application.
Okay.
And that's all happens through Office.js, which is an Office JavaScript library.
Yep.
So because it's a web application, JavaScript is the kind of standard language it uses, and Office.js allows us to do this kind of interaction between the document and the app.
So that's in Word.
Yeah.
But this works for the entirety of Office?
Yeah, exactly. So if we take Excel, I've got conveniently pre-set up some sales data here.
Good. I like to see, the sales
completely
data.
realistic sales data.
Very realistic since UK is the highest sales region.
Yeah, almost double the sales of Germany, which is the next highest.
I love fictional sales.
Yeah, I do as well, especially when the UK is the top. So I've got an app here which I think is quite amusing. It's called Bubbles. And this simply displays some data in bubble format. So there we go. There's that data shown in bubble format. Now what's interesting about this app is this is what we call a content add-in. So this works and behaves in exactly the same way as any piece of content would do. So this could be a picture or a chart, but it's actually an add-in in this particular case. When I email this around or save it on a SharePoint or something, somebody else that's going to download this document will get this add-in as well as part of the document.
Oh, okay.
And if they've not trusted it, they'll get a screenshot of a picture of whatever it last looked like. If they have got the add-in trusted, they'll they'll get the full interaction of the ad, and they'll get this nice bubbly kind of.
It's got keyboard controls, Martin.
It has
Arrows right, gravity. I info.
Arrows right, gravity. That's slightly interesting. Let's
click on the actual thing and then do.
Oh right, that's quite freaky. So I'm doing my left key there.
It's got E for effects. What's E?
I have no idea what useful thing this is.
Well, doing that is clearly
quite
what
cool.
it's
What effects are we going to go for? That's just it. It's just a shadow effect. But it's good to know that these things are possible. I can take people away. I can add people in by. So this is an awesome app to just basically waste time in.
Yeah, it's good.
But no offense to the people that developed it. It's quite cool, quite fun. So that's Excel. It doesn't stop there, Martin. We can go into Outlook, which is one of the most used applications in the world. And I've got an email here which I've sent to a few of my members of my team and my extended team.
Yep.
I've got there's an add-in bar in Outlook here. There's Orgtree. Now this is an internal application to Microsoft, but it just gives you the idea. So what this is doing is it's looking at all of the recipients of the email, and it's plotting them on an organisational chart so we can see where we all stand in the organisation.
Me and Amy, Martin Beebe and Amy Nicholson, we are, tech evangelists, sitting next to Martin Kern, senior technical evangelist there.
Oh, I prefer to think of that as Sir Technical Evangelist.
Sir Technical Evangelist. So me and Amy, the bottom of that rung.
Well, we're all peers, really.
You see that? You see how I've not got a picture in the gal for some reason? I don't know why. But do you know what that picture is of? That shadow.
No.
That is Bill Gates when he got his mugshot.
Is that
done.
true?
Yeah. Then that is.
Have you just made that up?
I promise you, that's true. Just check the internet. But that's Bill Gates.
Because the internet never lies.
No, it doesn't. Well, you'll come across my page where I describe. No, it's a fact.
Okay.
That's Bill Gates in his
Awesome.
mugshot. That's the silhouette of his mugshot.
So you are Bill Gates. Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
I never knew that. So thanks for that.
There you go. No worries. So we're reporting into Andrew Spooner.
Yeah, who reports to Rob Fraser, and Rob reports to Liam, who is the head of our department DX, and then
hello, Liam.
Hello, Liam. So let's just zoom in on Liam.
Liam's a great guy. I've often thought.
We love Liam. We love Liam. I'll tell you who I love even more than Liam. Michelle. Yeah. Michelle's awesome.
He's a great guy.
And it goes up from there, and we can see finally we get to Satcher, who is the boss of Microsoft, and only 6 promotions, Martin, for you and I to get to that level.
6 promotions to see Satcher to get to
go.
Satcher's level.
So, so that's a nice example of another Office ad. It's taking the data that's in the email, which is the document in the case of Outlook.
Yeah.
It's using the metadata, and it's doing something useful with it. And I use this quite a lot, actually. If I get an email of somebody that I don't know who it is, I'll look them up and see where they are.
Yeah, organisational stalking.
Indeed, yes, because we like that sort of thing. So that's that's Office apps. So let's think about creating one for ourselves.
Okay. So you've switched over to Visual Studio.
I have switched over to Visual Studio. So I'm using Visual Studio here because I'm on Windows. If you're on Windows, Visual Studio is the easiest way to build Office add-ins.
Yep.
But you don't have to be on Windows. It's just a web application, so you can use whatever you would normally build web applications in.
So there's 2 portions of this application. You've got something that sits on a web server somewhere, and that can be written in PHP, ASP.NET, Java, Node, whatever you wanted to write it in.
Even just static HTML, if you want.
Yeah, cool. You could roll that way.
That's so I roll. We're going to see that in a minute.
Static HTML. Then we can. We could also. Then we have an XML file, which is the bit which sits on the actual PC.
Exactly. Yeah, a manifest file which describes this kind of metadata for the application.
Okay, but fundamentally we can use any language which is able to generate something on a server and put it on a website somewhere, and then something which is able to customize an XML document. But you're using Visual Studio because Visual Studio has a built-in template for this thing. Yeah,
Visual Studio is the easiest way to do it if you're on Windows by far. But you can use Yeoman if you're on Mac and other platforms. You can use, there's actually a tool called Napper, which is quite an interesting tool. It's actually a web-based IDE.
Right,
so all you need to do that is a browser.
And that's based on IronApper?
Who knows?
If you're not fully aware of what IronApper is, if you're not from Europe, IronApper is a party island.
Yeah.
A bit like Ibiza, I guess.
Yeah. At least it was when we were youngsters.
Yeah.
I don't know if it still is. It's probably
definitely is.
Is it?
Yeah,
really?
it was more like R&B.
Yeah. Well, if you live in IronApper and you're watching this,
I feel like
just write into us and tell us whether indeed you are having a party as you're watching this.
But anyway, so IronApper is like a browser-based tool, which is
not IronApper. That's an island.
No, okay. Napper. Napper is a party island. No, it's a browser-based tool.
No.
What is it?
Stop this. Napper is a browser-based IDE for writing Office apps. Simple as that.
Okay.
That's what we need to know. So if you don't want to install some special tools and you just want to have a quick look, it's great for that. If you want to build serious applications, then either use Visual Studio or use the Yeoman generator to generate some scaffolded applications.
Right, okay. So we're going to use Visual Studio.
We are going to use Visual Studio. So I'm going to go File New Project. And this could be the community edition as well, the free version. It doesn't have to be one of the sort of paid for versions. I can choose App for Office. I'm going to got a little directory called Demo Dump. I'm going to do Office App 1. And we just wait for a minute whilst so it's going to ask me now which type of add-in do I want to create. So we've got the task pane, which is what Wikipedia was, the content, which is what the bubble graph was, and the mail, which is the org chart. I'm going to choose task pane. And I'm going to say that I want it to appear in all the applications that are available, including Project.
Yeah.
Which I last used a very long time ago.
I've not used Project for a long time,
No.
but then I'm not a project manager.
It just shows the level of planning that we do for these things.
Maybe if we use Project a little bit more, like there'll be a little more organisation to our work.
You never know. So anyway, we're going to say yes, I want all of that stuff. So it's creating the application now. It's building a little web application for us, and it's setting up that manifest file. So we just have to wait for a minute whilst that's happening.
Okay.
And just maybe we'll have a little look around to see where else we can go.
Well, I'll tell you what, one place where we could go.
Where's that?
Well, we could go to Glasgow.
Let's go to Glasgow.
Hey! We're going to be in Glasgow next week. We're going to do a Microsoft Web Day, MS Web Day,
yeah.
talking all about ASP.NET. So if you're in Glasgow, do come along. We're talking about ASP.NET Core 1.
ASP.NET Core 1, release candidate 1.
And all of the stuff around
stuff,
that, like
yeah.
framework and all that stuff, and various other topics as well. We could go to, I don't know, this is Droitwich Spa.
That was familiar. That's my local train station.
That's where you live.
Yeah, it makes you feel at home. Thanks for that, Martin.
Or we could go to Party Island, Iron Apple.
Iron Apple. Let's go to Iron Apple. Yay. Awesome.
Right, is that built yet?
Yeah, that's done now. Good. So what we've got now is two things. We've got the Office App 1 web and the Office App 1. So the web is just a boilerplate web application. It's just static HTML JavaScript in this case.
Yep.
It's not ASP.NET or anything like that. It's just very, very simple application. And the manifest file is, if I just load that up, you can see the kind of things that it's asking for here. So it's display names, version, the source location, which is where the actual web application runs from.
Okay.
So this is obviously using a local source right now, but in a normal scenario, you'd put that out on the web and point it at that. And so that's it. That's basically an Office app. So let's just run this and just see what we've got straight away. So this is just going to run in Excel. That's the default application that you can use. You can set this to be one of the other ones if you want, or indeed one of the web applications if you want to as well. And this is a very simple application. It just lets me write some text from Office. So this is in the Office document itself. I'm going to select that text and click this button, and it's going to tell me what text was written and was selected.
Okay, so in that instance, you're clicking on the button.
Yeah.
To rather than it being the text changed, like
Yes,
you were
yeah.
in the previous example in the
Exactly,
Word document.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you're actually.
So the whole idea so this is the Office JavaScript library that's doing this. It's,
Yep.
A lot of it is event based, so it will react to events in Office and doing things. But in this case, it's an event on the app itself.
Okay.
Is then reaching into Office and getting that data.
Right.
So that's quite good. One of the things you could just to illustrate that this is just a simple web application. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to just change it to Bing because Bing's pretty cool. And wouldn't it be nice to actually search for Bing whilst you're in Office? Would you think that'd be a good thing to do?
The best thing to do.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
There probably are other better things to do than that do this, but it's still going to be quite useful to have Bing in the context of Office.
Course.
So obviously Bing is just a website.
Well, that looks great.
It does look great, yeah. If I do it like that, it looks better, but
Looks
not
even-
a great experience.
Yeah.
But this is real Bing. We can search for Microsoft in here.
As opposed to fake Bing.
Yeah. But it just shows the point that this is just an iframe inside Office. It's
Yeah.
not. I'm not doing anything special here. But I think I still quite like the idea of searching for Bing results in Office, but maybe not quite like this.
Okay.
So let's go one step further.
Okay, let's do this.
Yeah. So what we're going to do
Push the
now?
boundaries of
push
what's
the boundaries.
possible.
Let's do that. Yeah. So Bing have an API. They have a search API, and I'm going to use that to actually do a proper Bing search and show that properly. So I'm going to open up home.js. This is the main JavaScript file. So you can see what's happening at the moment is I've got this click event, which is basically handling the button click on the app.
Yeah.
It's running get data from selection. That's running this line of code here, which is an Office line of code, which is basically getting the data that's selected in the Office document, and it's passing me into my function here. So I'm going to just make some modifications to this to get it to search Bing instead. So the first thing I want to do is I want to, I've got my top secret Bing security key here.
I'm glad that you're not showing this live
I am
video.
as well, because if I was showing this live on a video, people might be inclined to copy it and use it for their
I love the way you've scrolled out of screen as if pause buttons hadn't been invented.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But I'm trusting the fine viewers that they're not going to do anything else.
I'm pretty sure that that API key could only get you searches to Bing's API.
Yes.
And you can repeal that.
I can,
it's
yeah.
not really like that.
If I suddenly find that somebody's using this in an Office app, I'll be delighted because they've built an Office app and that means this show's worked.
All right.
But I'll just change the key and then I'll have to get a new one.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, it's standard stuff, yeah.
There's a challenge for you if you're watching. Just DDoS's API key.
Yeah, it's fine, just do it. Go for it. If it's like any API, you need to get an API key. They all have slightly different ways of doing it, but it just goes very simple to do. If you go on the Bing, search for Bing API and you'll find it. So I'm going to change the code a little bit now. I'm going to basically...
This is great snippet management.
I know. I'm not the best at snippet management, I will admit, but I'm going to go to this code here and I'm going to call into this function called getSearchResults. I'm going to pass result.value. So result.value is a selected text. So I'm going to go back to my snippet manager.
Or Visual Studio Code.
Or Visual Studio Code. Well, at least it's on Notepad, right? Because it was Notepad.
It was Notepad up until like last week.
You kept going on at me about not using Notepad for snippets.
Well, I actually kept going on about using snippet managers, like using a snippet manager.
But this is a step in the right direction.
Well, it is a step. I would be mad, but consider I'm in Napa with this beautifully calm water. We're having this season.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. I'll let you pass on that.
Okay. What you might not let me pass on is the quality of my JavaScript code here.
No, some fine injections of standard href tags. Look at that BR. BR. HRBR.
This is how I roll.
This is like someone which wants to avoid CSS at all costs.
Yeah. Anyway, what we can see is happening here is this function does a very simple AJAX request to the Bing API.
You're not kidding. Simple.
It is simple though. That's the whole point though, right? It's just an API.
So all you're doing there, you're setting an authorization header,
yes.
set request header, authorization. You've set it up sort of basic auth.
Yeah.
I imagine that's a standard thing for doing a JavaScript call to the API.
And that's the service key which I've now hidden and you can't possibly see ever. Even if you rewind and then pause. And then it gives you back some JSON. I'm going to get that JSON. I'm going to grab the results div that I just added in. Did I add that in yet? No, I didn't add that in yet. Let's add that in as well. I'll go back to my snippet manager and grab my little results div there.
That would have taken you less time to write.
Yeah, I know. But and it just basically, in a very hacky way, fills up that div with the results from the Bing search query.
I like it.
It's also, I think it's awesome. It's going to be better than the. I've just remembered. I need to just stop this because this is still going to load the web Bing. So let's change that back to my application. And then let's try that again and see if it works.
Yeah.
So we need to think of something to search for, Martin. What are we going to search for?
Well, we're in IANAPA.
So let's go search for how do you spell? Is that it?
I don't know.
IANAPA? I don't know. Let's find out. Let's do a search. There we go.
It's got an I in it. IANAPA.
But look, these are search results. And they've come from the Bing API and they're in an Office app. I haven't had to leave Office to do this.
Well, very well done to you.
Yeah.
Okay, so that kind of shows you all of the different aspects of
I wouldn't say all of them. I think we've scratched the surface a little bit.
All of the possible permutations and quality of the...
You can do a bit more than just search on Bing. But yeah, I mean, the idea here is that we've got a JavaScript library, we've got a web application on one side, Office on the other side, and the JavaScript library lets us do that. Is the glue really that glues the two together. And you can build some pretty cool apps on it.
Yeah.
Worth a look.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for showing us that. We're going to be back next week, next Wednesday. I think we're going to be talking about web performance, so join us then. See you next week.